This episode of On the Line is presented to you by Living.Fit, your one stop for all your fitness needs. Make sure you go download the app Living.Fit today. Now here's the show. Welcome to On the Line. Today is Tuesday, February 8th. We got a great show for you guys, but first and foremost, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iHeart, whatever you listen to, make sure you hit that follow button. We appreciate it. Great show. Got Alexander the Great Hernandez. Talked to him before his fight this weekend against Renato Moicano. We got William Knight. He talks on the show, talks about his fight, talks about lifting, and all that other kinds of shit. I don't know. That one kind of goes all over the place. We follow that up, give our medals for the past week. We give our performance bonuses and fight of the night for UFC Vegas 47. And then we wrap up with a good friend of mine, the best trade master in the game, or at least that's what he thinks he is, the trade wizard himself, James Arca. So without further ado, here's Alexander Hernandez. All right, we are joined by a very special guest, the always polarizing Alexander the Great Hernandez. My man, how we doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
Doing great. So you got a big fight coming up with Renato Moicano, but I got a more important question to ask. After your last fight, you said, and I quote, you wanted to celebrate your birthday and you said, in the win by saying, I'm going to party my dick off. Did you, in fact, party your dick off after your big win?
Yeah, unfortunately. I caught a pretty large tab in Vegas. I feel like I kind of got duped, actually, into going to this new, I don't know, one of these casino clubs. I'm not a fan of clubs. I don't like them. But I got corralled into one, and then we got hit at this table and spent an ungodly amount of money between at least a good number of heads, though, so we were able to break it up. But it was a pretty atrocious night. So.
Well, it helped a little bit though. You got the extra money from Breida missing weight, so at least had a little bit of that extra
it's
cash.
First fight, so it wasn't the most, but yeah, I would say that little purse went straight to the slots. Though, yeah, I definitely just tossed that right into the Vegas economy, and then kept rolling. I got right with the Lord again on Sunday, though. Got back in the light of the Lord on Sunday, and I'm on the honest path here, getting ready for the time.
Yeah. So you got to be ready for Moicano. He's a tough motherfucker, which we'll get more in a second. I have one more question about partying though, real quick, just because you said you're not a big club guy. Are you more of like a chill, hang out with a couple friends at like a bar or whatever and just chill out, or are you a big,
Yeah. I'm super outgoing and I like talking to people. I like being out. But yeah, I mean,
you're a talker, not a dancer. You're a talker, not a dancer.
I got hips, man. I can move. Yeah. I mean, I got hips. I got moves, but I like bars. I like live music. I love a good house party. I've got a friend who likes to DJ and shit as well. So who doesn't these days? Who doesn't have like a friend that would like DJ these days? But yeah, I just prefer places where you can listen to music, but you can also, converse a little bit.
Yeah, well,
the type of music. I just don't like the type of music that's at clubs. It's just like top 100 hits. Yeah, it gets real played out real quick. And
well, sometimes like if you get a good DJ though, the mashups can be pretty sweet. Like they can be like if you get a really good DJ, those mashups they're really good.
Yeah,
they're really good.
Agreed.
Yeah. So like, what for your workouts then? What do you like listening to then?
It depends, man. It's funny. I actually I was just talking to. I just got done working out, and I was talking to my trainer about like I haven't had caffeine or. I mean, he'll play music when we're in there, but I don't really listen to music either. It's almost like they're almost like drugs, like like Bass Nectar said, music is the drug, and so I'll kind of eliminate that out of my diet in the weeks leading up to the fight, so that way, for one, I get really in tune with where I'm organically at when I wake up and when I'm moving and how I feel, and then also when I do add something in like caffeine or a song or whatever, I mean, it hits you that much harder. It literally feels like, it feels like a stimulant. And so I pretty much save it for a little bit in fight week and then the day of the fight.
So I know because you're super OCD about like peaking for the fight. So like you even like turn off music to like prepare your body to like perfectly like peak at like fight time.
Yeah, and then also choice selection of like what I'm listening to. And some days maybe I'm like, I don't feel like listening to like an audiobook or a podcast. Maybe I do want like a little hit of a tune. Maybe I want a little beat, a little dose of that. And if I'm feeling that day, I'll do a little bit of it. But I really don't want to, because then I almost just get saturated by it, and it doesn't really. It'll sometimes silence my own thoughts that I'm having, or my own feelings, or it'll just become mundane. And so it's nice to experience things. It feels like you're almost feeling it for the first time come that fight day or that fight week, when you take a break away from these things. You kind of eliminate it from your diet and you put it back in. So I do like to do that. Yeah, I mean, I really like to like deprive myself of certain things, and then reintroduce it the day of the fight, or maybe a little bit in the week of the fight.
So like, what's your go-to then pre-fight like workout mix? What's the mix? What's on the playlist?
It just depends, man. Like sometimes, like I'm in like this happy-go-lucky mood where I'm listening to like Fleetwood Mac and Elton John and shit like that, and then other times you know like in this case, I'm getting ready for Houston, so I've been like going down like UGK wormholes and uh, Pimp C and Bun B and old school shit like that. And I always like Lil Wayne's, like the goat, and Eminem and Drake and old Kanye. I really like all the artists that I listened to when I was in like high school and college. I don't really listen to any of the new guys too much. There's like songs that I'll pick from, but like for me, like I like my own OG set. And then I
Yeah.
also like I like different rock, and sometimes I like electronic music. Like I'll put a little bass nectar on sometimes, and just get real fucking heavy like that. And it's just the taste, the flavor of the day. I can't call it.
Yeah, I'm like the same. I've always felt though. This might be the same way for you. Like when I listen, I like to listen to house music when I run because I feel like it gets my heart pumping exactly like at that like the BPM of it. Does that make
You get that
sense?
like that kind of like trance state where you're flowing real nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, and I do like to. Yeah, I would like a little bit like that, like for like a run. Yeah, like kind of like something like that's like Pretty Lights esque or something like that. Yeah, I kind of
yeah,
like that.
exactly. Yeah.
But like when I'm like really trying to pump something or get like a higher interval, or like uh, that anaerobic state where I'm like really pushing. Like I like a good deep bodied bass. Like that's where I talk about like that like kind of bass sector where it's like having a bold, like a black coffee, just like something bold that you feel in your soul, your spirit. I don't really like the construction sound shit. There's just like noise. I don't really like the noise, but I like a good like something that I'm frowning to while I have a scowl on my face while I'm going to work. I
You
love
can
that
like you can
shit.
feel it in your balls. Like
Yeah,
that's how you want.
I
You want
like
to
to
be able to
scowl.
feel
I
it
like
in
to
your balls.
scowl when my headphones are in. I'm going to work. That's kind of energy. Kind of like that 21
No,
Savage energy.
that's how we. Yeah, you have your hood up, got the bass, you feel the music in your balls, and you're ready to just like PRs, all that kind of stuff. You
Yeah,
know?
just
Yeah,
tears through the fucking
yeah.
roof. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Super alpha energy. But anyway. Big sidetrack to the fight with
Yeah,
Moicano. This is your first fight in front of fans in 30 days. Are you more pumped to be back in front of fans, or more pumped to be fighting in Texas, back in the
dude.
homeland?
Dude, I mean, to be in Texas in front of fans is huge. I'm so excited about that. It's easy to get in like a nice routine because at the Apex, um, it's real homely. Like it's just like this cool little quaint area. You go in, you get like a big private room to yourself, and then you walk in. You handle business. The ceilings are low. It's like incandescent lighting. It's a little more, like I said, like just warm and homely. And you go in there, you handle your business, and you bounce. And it's easy to get like in a real comfortable routine with that. And you kind of forget like how igniting like the fans can be. And so like I was at first, like I was kind of nervous thinking about, I was like, oh shit, like getting back in front of the fans. But I mean that switch flicked pretty quick, and I started just feeling like really excited, really grateful, just to be able to be in Texas. Houston's going to feel like a hometown. I had the pleasure of fighting in San Antonio once, and to be in Houston's going to be something similar to that. I think Derek Lewis might be the only other guy on the card that's representing Texas, and so it's going to be a dream come true to go in there and put on a show, especially like when people are as eager as they are to be in it, to be in the audience.
It's like almost like the pay-per-views have become so much more special because there's
Mhm.
really no fans at any other event. It's like the even more cerebral kind of event. It's like you've been chosen to be on this card that we're allowing fans to come into.
Right.
That like kind of yeah. So it's super. It's got to be. I mean, again, not only fans. You're back in your hometown. I mean, it's got to be. So that you fought in San Antonio,
So
what, in
cool.
2019, 18?
Yeah, I believe so. And that was like my most boring fight ever, which was a bummer. But you know, I mean, it was cool still to have the crowd because I've been against the crowd a bunch too. You know, like whenever I whenever I first came on, um, it was in Vegas, and it was so early in the day that the crowd wasn't really too busy. Like it was lower on the card, and so it was just kind of a neutral crowd. And then the next one, I was in Canada in Calgary against Mercier. So like this whole week, I was just like shaking hands with all these like friendly Canucks, you know. And then like I go in that fight day, and these like boisterous, angry bastards are screaming at me and like "fuck off, fuck you." And I'm like, dude, what the fuck happened to these guys, dude? Like, I thought they were like the friendliest country ever. And then, I mean, they brought some heat for sure that day. I was
It's
like,
MMA and
man,
hockey. MMA
yeah,
and
damn
hockey to
near.
get all
Yeah,
their
the guys were
aggression
just
out.
pouring maple down my back when I was walking out and shit. And I mean, it was a hostile environment. And then like of course same thing going in Brooklyn against Cerrone, and then I was in San Antonio where I had like the arena was like shaking. I could feel it before I was walking out. Just being like the only San Antonio representative to really be at this level or even hold it down like this ever. So that was pretty cool. And then the next one was that really weird, like in Jacksonville, where it was this giant arena but just empty, and so that kind of left a weird feeling and taste in my mouth. But like I said, kind of like push that aside, and then going back to those feelings of being in Texas that last time, man, I'm super stoked because there's just so much, especially in Houston, man. It's such like a rambunctious audience, dude. I mean, we're so goddamn crunk out there, and I'm just like excited to drop some like Houston heat on the track and go out. I mean, I kill the walkouts. I really do. I put on some bangers for the crowd, and I'm really excited for that. And
Do you have a song picked out already? Do
I sure do. I sure do.
you want to spoil
Yeah.
it?
I mean, you could hear it. Are you guys going to be there listening in? I mean, I'll play it. You know.
I won't be there live, but
I mean, they should.
do you want to spoil?
They still do the walkouts, right? Well, I'm
Yeah, no,
gonna
yeah,
play.
yeah. No, like no, we're gonna spoil it now. Like, what are you gonna walk out to?
I'm gonna walk. I was going through a hit list, and I was like, man, I think the best like engaging and also like I was having a lot of fun with it. Just chunk up the deuce.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
you throw it on a speaker right now, or even right after this call, and you're gonna get hyped to be like, "Oh shit, I forgot how this felt." So yeah, a good Houston chunk up the deuce. UGK Slim Thug takes it over. It'll be man, it'll be so much energy. It'll be awesome.
So I'm pulling up
So I'm
right
really
now.
excited about that. Got the hood up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
How often do you it's like obviously you gotta like I feel like as a fighter I'm assuming you envision it all, you envision and
Yeah.
saying you're OCD, so you're probably envisioning not even like the walkout and the fight itself, you're envisioning all the prep, all the other like arriving in the arena, all that other kind of stuff. So like how often when do you start really starting to visualize everything?
You know, and I used to not be like too terrific about that. And I really started to do it more. I think getting since I moved to Colorado, like the last three fights, and I really start to like dive into really like just kind of being in the back a little bit, but not even too much of that because it's kind of a party back there. I'm kind of having a good time, and then it's really just like taking in the walk, and then being in that cage, and then just like facing that motherfucker, like really just squaring off and looking at him and seeing him, and then kind of running through the fight, but not even too much for me because I can easily like start to run into a script, and I don't want to do that. I find like I do the
Mm.
best work when I just kind of go in there like an empty cup and I have no expectation, and I just trust in all the work that I've done up into that point. So my reactions are on point. You know, my IQ's on point, and I can respond in the moment. But I do that like I mean from the start of the fight announcement. I'll do it. And then if I find myself doing it too much, like, okay, I'll take a break from it a little bit. I do like a number of different breath exercises. And then maybe I'll go back to the visualization. Like I haven't done it in a few weeks, for instance, or maybe a couple weeks. But I was doing it pretty heavy and I was almost doing it too heavy where I was like, oof, you know, we're overthinking this guy. Let's back off of that. Let's start having fun again. So I need to have some fun again. Start just kind of, you know, freelancing it and just kind of playing and flowing. And then when I go into the week, this next week, I'll start getting back on the visualization once we show up in Houston
When are you gonna get to Houston?
Tuesday.
Tuesday? Is it so so you've been in Colorado now for a while now. What's your favorite thing about it?
I mean the team because that's where I spend all my time there. You know, Mark and the boys for sure. Colorado itself is tight, though. I mean, the mountains never get old. There's a lot of religion in those
Wow.
hills, so I like it out there. And it's funny, when I first got here, I was like, well, I moved here like in the heat of COVID, like that summer of
2020.
2020. Yeah, summer of
Yeah.
2020. So I mean, it wasn't like the very spark of it, but it was like pretty soon thereafter. And so
That was like when stuff was getting like loosened up again before like it all went to shit again that winter.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and especially in Colorado, like Texas, I mean, it was boots out. I mean, we had boots on the ground. Like maybe even that winter and summer. Like I went back to Texas and it was like stepping into a different year as a time portal. I mean, people were fucking out acting up, and that was a complete polarization from Colorado, especially Denver, where everything was locked down. And so I was like, man, dude, it's like really boring here. I don't know if there's anything going on, and there's like a troubling amount of white people. Just like way too many white people here. Like I was like downtown, and there was I saw like one man of color. I was like, dude, what is like up with this town here? Like it makes you skeptical, and it kind of keeps you looking over your shoulder because probably a lot of fucking weirdies and a lot of odd crimes taking place. And so, I was a little
Definitely a different
nervous.
crowd, a lot different crowd than
Yeah,
Texas. A
yeah,
lot different crowd than San Antonio, Texas.
yeah, dude. Just a lot of REI and like plaid and shit, and
Mm.
a lot of broad shouldered women as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hardy
Yeah.
mountaineered,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sturdy women,
Sturdy, very
and
sturdy. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and so God bless them, and that and so it was just kind of like a little bit of an acclimation period, but once things started opening up again, I was like, man, dude, this is actually a really really cool area. Like, it's got um, it's got a pretty fun art scene, cool art scene, great music scene. There's always groups and bands and artists coming through, and even like a little venues just like throughout the streets. And then of course you got Red Rocks, which is awesome. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
like great hiking and little watering holes, which I love. Love to be out there, living that little river life and getting those cold water dips. And so Denver's really just Colorado's really grown on me. I love it. I love it out here.
So we've taken so many sides. We keep talking about Wakanda, then go on these little sides. Anyway, let's go back to the fight. Obviously, we talked about Texas. I mean, Wakano's fought the who's who of the UFC. Like, what's the thing that excites you the most about this fight?
Yeah, man, it's such a good challenge. Like that last fight, it was kind of weird because and my coach wasn't happy about it because we were fighting Glory James Krause, who's of course like my coach's student as well. He's kind of like a teammate of mine, and
Yeah.
their school's kind of an extension of it. But we all share managers, and I guess I don't know. It just worked out in a way that on the short notice turnover, they had this guy that was ready who was on the brink of the UFC anyways. I guess he did the contender series, and so he got the call. But it was just kind of like it was a weird experience, and it like wasn't as gratifying because it just felt like I don't know. It almost just felt a little wrong, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's good. You got to be grateful for every win. That was something I said there too. But it was kind of one of those things that you went out there and you did what you're supposed to do, and you got the job done, and let's go to the next thing, and then now Moicano being the next thing is just like it's just kind of like the story of my career. It's always like just like a top hitting motherfucker. Like like a lot of these guys like come in and they get to like rattle off like 6-7 wins and they haven't fought one guy who's like even a top 20, and they
Mm-hmm.
like build these like awesome streaks that look really pretty on paper, and I envy it, no doubt. And I've just like never had that. It's just been like
Just
trial
killer,
by
killer,
fire.
killer,
Yeah,
killer,
just
killer.
killer, like
Yeah.
just a hit list all day. But man, there's something beautiful about that too. I've always aspired to challenge myself and to grow, and I've grown so much because of those challenges, like in MMA, in the octagon, and outside that as well, like into the professional life before this. And so I think it's awesome. Like at first like, oh shit, I could fight Moicano, and then like the more just like anything else I settled into, and I was like, oh man, I get to beat Moicano's ass like February 12th. I can't wait to do that in Houston, Texas. I'm so excited about that, and I love it. I love the challenge of it. I love the growth I've made. I feel like over the last 3 fights with Factory X, I've kind of like shown a few different sides that I've been like trying to put together because there's obviously like this growing process when you're building something new and you're building with a new team. And I feel like I'm finally at a point to where I'm putting it together and I can display that. I also finally feel like I'm a vet. Like I think after that Moises fight, I was like, dude, I feel like a vet doing this. You know, I
Hmm.
don't just feel like a kid stepping up and taking challenges. I feel like this is what I do. You know, and so feeling being in that headspace against another guy who's obviously a veteran and taking on like a top five at 145 and now taking on top at 55. It's so exciting to take that challenge on and it's just such a like it'd be such a gratifying thing for me to to defeat another big name like that, and that's what I want. I want to defeat another big name like that.
And not only that, you get another big name, but then you also finally break this little streak of like you win one, then you take a step
Yeah,
back, then take another step forward,
yeah,
another step back. This would
yeah.
get you back on the streaking and go towards back up towards the rankings.
Right, right. But yeah, and again, it's like you you think you look at that and be like, okay, well maybe we take like a couple just to build that streak, but it's just like now let's take on another
No,
top 10 guy.
no, no.
I'm like,
Give me the guy right below the
fuck it,
rankings.
let's
I
do
want
it. I'm like, let's just do it,
him.
dude. Let's do it. So yeah, it's really exciting. It is really exciting.
Oh, it is exciting. Again, you deliver. You're a people's champion. So, I know you've said in the past you want to be active, and I know you haven't had more than three fights like, specifically in 2013. Is the goal this year to kind of do 3 fights?
Yeah, man. That's just been kind of like a bullshit thing with the UFC where I'm like, hey, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight. And like when I first got in, being at the top rank, it was hard. I think because it's always kind of like a political chess match at the top, and you're kind of like who's always trying to arrange themselves in a way, and so it's like you can't just grab a fight. It's like you got to wait for so and so to fight, and then you might be able to fight this guy. And I don't know. It's like they're moving these pieces on a board, and so you're just waiting. And then like I was so frustrated last year with the fucking stupid Moises fight because it was like, man, just a fight that I felt like we were up in, and then obviously took an L and he ran away with it at the end of that third, and I was like, dude, I just want to like turn around and get right back in it. Like I wasn't discouraged in any way. I was just like, I'm better than that. I want to go prove it. I want to get back in, and it was like we're on hold again until October, and I'm like, what the fuck? And so it's really frustrating. I just been putting so many miles in the gym, waiting, and it's just kind of like that game, and so I don't know. I do want some volume this year, but it's also a difficult thing because no matter how this fight goes, I want to. I kind of want to get surgery on some just long injuries I've been enduring through camps for like a while now, and I can keep doing it, but especially like beating Moicano, then you're going to start. There's a few different routes you can obviously go to the top, but
Hmm.
as the opponents get harder, I want to be able to like just feel more and more 100% throughout the entire camp. So I might choose to get surgery and be out for a little bit, and then just try to pick up a fight again at the end of the year. I don't know. I have to play it by ear, but if I don't do that, then I will want to roll. It just kind of depends on how this fight goes, how long
Hmm.
it lasts. If I want to just roll right into another one, if that's even an option, it's not up to me. And
There's some big lightweight fights coming up. Let's say God willing, first round knockout, and barely take a scratch,
yeah,
and pick up a little late notice. I mean,
just
we're in the
roll right into another.
replacement
That's what I'm
world.
saying. I'm kind of playing it by ear because it's just everything's just contingent on it. So, but man, I do want volume though. I've been wanting volume. I've been crying out for it. It's just like I don't know. It's like they just keep putting in so many fucking 55ers, and it's like, do we need all these 55ers? Like, can we just get
It's a
some?
low. There's so many guys in the 55. I think it's the biggest division. I think it's either that or bantamweight is the biggest
Yeah, they're
division.
both pretty fat, like around 90 or 90 something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's unreal. It's unreal. So like this. So obviously we talked about it. You like there is the whole political chess game or whatever. But at this point in your career, I mean, obviously you want people who are going to move you forward. But do the names and rankings really matter as much to you, or are you just trying to get that volume in the octagon?
Yeah, it's like I kind of want the reps, and then like the name and rankings almost find themselves. You kind of just want to keep stacking your paydays and getting like a streak is really important. And then really without that, you don't really find your way in the top anyways. But where I'm kind of sitting, it's like you win a couple fights and then you can fight for you could fight a top 10 guy and then you fight a top 5 guy, then you fight for the belt. So it could just be like a 4 fight kind of thing away, depending on who you're fighting. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. It's it's a tricky question. It's
It
just
is it is a loaded question. It is a loaded
right.
question. I try not to ask loaded questions, but
Yeah.
it happens. Sometimes it happens to the best of us. But
Yeah.
um, so obviously you're from Texas. I gotta ask, Texas is football. Did you grow up? I know you wrestled like at 13 or whatever. Did you play football as well?
Fuck no, dude. I didn't. I had puberty like 22, and so I was like baby shit small, and I didn't.
Oh,
I was like I was far too uncoordinated and fearful, and yeah, and I didn't get into like I played basketball. I played basketball growing up for a bit, and then I realized I was too short and I sucked, and so then I got into wrestling there shortly after. But
so how
no,
small were you in high school then?
I mean, I was I weighed 100 pounds freshman year. Like I one time I maxed out on the scale at 100 pounds freshman year, and then
Wow.
I wrestled 112. So I wrestled 103 freshman year, wrestled 112 sophomore, 112, 119, cut down to 112 though in junior year, and then I wrestled 125 senior year. And so I think
So
like
you really hit puberty then in college.
yeah,
You weren't
really.
kidding.
I've just been that slow grower, dude. Just that chipper. Like I've been like that little like Japanese bonsai plant that's just kind of like you water it and you whisper like you whisper some like some sweet nothings in its ear, and then you put it in the sunlight, and it just kind of like just sort of flourishes. But it's not bad looking when it's done. It just I was always like I never got that big spurt. Like I get infuriated whenever I remember getting into college and I had like two short ass little friends with me, and we were like, like the
The
squirts, and
short crew.
these two little motherfuckers came back with like beards and shit. And I was like, "What the fucking fuck happened out there, dude? I mean, what happened to me?" And they like, I mean, granted, I caught up to them. It just took like I never hit a spurt. I was just like that gradual grower, dude, that little bonsai.
See, for me, it was like the opposite. I grew in middle school, and I was 6 foot in like seventh grade, and I thought, "Holy shit, dude! I'm
Oh
gonna play
shit!
basketball. I'm gonna be this fucking mammoth,"
Oh
and I didn't
shit!
grow another inch.
Yeah, dude, I had a
I
friend
just
like that
stopped.
too. A couple friends like that. You were one
Yeah.
of those. You were one of those early bloomers showing off that pubic fro at an early age in the locker rooms, weren't you? I had a friend like
Yep.
that
Yep.
who was
Yep. Yep.
always flexing on me, always showing off his shrubs, and I'm
Little
like,
pull
dude,
down
keep
to
that.
action. Like, look what I got. You ain't got that shit.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, keep that nest buried, dog. He's got little doves and things falling out of there. But I was, yeah, I was that bearskin bad boy for a long time, and it took
Little insects falling
yeah,
out. Little
it took a
insects falling
bit
out. I don't
to
want that.
flourish, but we made it.
So again, you went to UTSA too. So I'm assuming again you did like football though. So this past year UTSA football had to been pretty fun.
No, dude, I
Don't
don't
pay
watch sports.
attention.
I don't watch sports. I mean,
So you only watch them.
I drink, especially in club. I drink. I drink. I like to get hammered at a game or a live show. I'm not above that, but I don't keep up with sports, and I never really had. I always liked the Lakers growing up because it was one of the most intimate hugs I've ever received from my father. Watching Derek Fisher bank that um, bank that game 7 shot at like point 0.3 seconds. I don't know if you remember that to win the championship, and we
Sorta.
were like, "Fuck yeah!" We're jumping and we're hyped, and my father embraced me, and I was like, "Dude, I fucking love the Lakers." And so I watched, like I said, I kind of watched some basketball growing up, but I never really I never really keep up with sports, and I'll watch a big game, but I just don't care. I mean, I just could not care less about
So I
team
mean, I'm assuming
sports or
then
the
you just
success of
fill
them.
that all with MMA. You just watch all. Do you just watch MMA then, or do you
Yeah,
even
and like
watch
even
MMA?
like that for like a long time, I wasn't really great at because I would like I'd find somebody that I really idolized or wanted to mimic, and I would like really dive into them, and then I kind of copycat their style for a long time, especially back in San Antonio where like I didn't really have like a great set of MMA coaches growing up, and so I would kind of like start to mimic these styles. I had some really good specialist coaches, but as far as like an MMA general, so it was lacking. So I would pick like like a GSP or Aldo or Cruz and like Dillashaw, and then of course McGregor when he was coming, and I would just like replicate these guys and just start moving like them, and essentially just yeah build my wins off of their back. And then I kind of like just trail off of that a little bit, but man, I was a pretty shit fan there for a while, and it wasn't until like maybe a few years ago that I really started maybe like I mean maybe just being out here last like couple years like really watching more every single weekend.
So I have a couple more questions, and we're gonna get in my little segment with my intern here. So, I have two questions about the Benil Dariush fight. So, one, first off, just for everyone watching, he is the last one to ever finish Benil Dariush. No big deal whatsoever. No big deal.
That's
But
tight.
anyway,
That's tight.
how many people came up to you after you who were just like so thankful because you were a plus 300 underdog?
Oh yeah, dude. Man, it's actually funny you say that. The first thing that comes to my mind is this dickhead that texted me. This dude I did a loan for texted me like, "Hey, just put 5K on you. Like, you better win." And it was like the last message. I remember like picking up my phone before I went to the T-Mobile Arena, which was right across the street from the hotel we were staying at. I picked up my phone. I saw that, and I was like, "Fuck this guy, man! I'm never talking to this guy again." It's just like the stupidest, shittiest thing to ever send somebody, especially for a fight. They're like, "Hey, just put some money on you. Like, don't fuck this up." It's like, dude, eat a dick, you know? Like,
More
fuck
pressure
you.
for me, not for you.
Yeah,
This means
fuck
more
you.
for
It's
me.
just like the least, like, just the least supportive or empathetic shit to say to somebody. And but no, afterwards though it was awesome, and a lot of people came up. It was funny. This I had this. He's probably, I don't know, around like 50 now. A few years ago, he was late 40s. This coach of mine named Handjob, and he was in the corner, and we get done. And he's wearing. I guess we separate at some point in the evening, and he's walking through the casino with another buddy, and he's wearing the Hernandez jersey, the hoodie, the Hernandez hoodie, right? That you walk
Mhm.
out in, and these like girls come up to him, and this chick comes up in their shit face, and she's like, "Oh my god, Alex, Alex, we just won on you, Alex." She goes, "You gotta sign this for me." And he's like, I'm not Alex." She goes, "Oh, stop! Like, here, sign this for me." And he's like, "The only time I've ever signed anything in my life, it was under your name as your alias, and I signed this girl's shirt for you." But yeah, people were pretty grateful, and they were in good spirits. So that was pretty cool afterwards.
Oh, it's got to help. I mean, that was probably, and then that was started. Not, I don't know. I can't remember when exactly people started not to turn on you, but people started to not like you as much because you're, being the
This this
polarizing
this
figure
the
you are.
Cerrone banner thing, and then I mean, it's one of
Yeah.
those like, if you if you win, you're the next McGregor. If you lose, you're just some asshole. So
No, that's really how. That's
I
really
kind
how
of
it is.
just sort of shot for the moon on that one, and really, it wasn't even just that. It wasn't like just trying to build clout. Uh, it was really just war tactics. I knew I could get in his head. I knew I could break him, and I think I did a pretty great job of that. Just my inexperience, I sort of fell on my own sword, and I couldn't close the show. And so, that was obviously a regret. But
So,
uh,
so theoretically, so let's say God again, God willing, you climb back up the rankings. We're gonna go back to the old, old Alex the Great, or are we gonna stay this more, a little more subdued Alex the Great?
uh, uh, so there's something. It's just the present self. I mean, like right then, also you can't play from old scripts, because then it's just that, it's a script, and then you're acting, and then you're doing this like McGregor role where he was that guy coming up, and it was fantastic to watch, and it was awesome, and it was genuine. That's why it was so awesome, because it was original, genuine content, and you could see it, versus like a Colby who's obviously like just acting and doing something for, I don't even know, a click, or for some pay, or a
To
Bang
sell pay per views, whatever. Yeah.
sponsorship or something.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But then when you see him doing it later on, and he's trying to impersonate his former self, it's just that, it's an impersonation. You're like, man, have you learned nothing along the way? Like, you're not that guy. Like, take on this like Floyd Mayweather attitude instead, where it's like, yeah, I'm about to be a billion. I'm a fucking boss, and that's just where I'm at. And I'm just here, working with my children out here, just helping them all raise their income as well. And if he took like this new, like matured approach, it would be genuine to where he's at, and he probably, it'd bring him some peace of mind to where he could perform, versus like trying to be something he's not. And I think that's like been in large part his downfall. And that's something I've realized too, where it's like, I'm not going to be anything I'm not. I'm going to be exactly how I feel. And I mean, I can always talk if I need to talk, and if it doesn't feel appropriate, it doesn't feel appropriate. But I've always kind of played it on what felt necessary for the time. So like, take it right now, like someone like Moicano. If I were to like talk shit to him, it wouldn't hit the same as it would have when I was on a run. If anything, I'd want to play something to make him underestimate me, to play in the silence, work in the shadows, and then surprise him in the moment. And so it's always like, it's not about what the people think or want to hear. It's what's gonna play for the best outcome in my fight. What's gonna affect my opponent and break him.
What's the
But
better tactic going forward? So here's a question on that. So I think Sean Strickland is a shtick. What do you think?
you don't like him.
No. I like him. I think he's funny as hell. I'm
Okay.
just. I think part of it's an act. I think it's kind of like Colby.
Oh, I don't think so because he's doing it in the moment. I think that's pretty genuine, and I hear he's an asshole across the board. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that's just what he is.
That's what
Like
he is.
like
Yeah.
like, like he's talking all the time. In the gym, outside the gym. If you guys are going back and forth in DMs or whatever, and then he'll try to take you out in the hotel. And so I think he's being genuine to himself, which is why he's doing well. And he's doing it in the moment again. You take like I was so surprised to see Colby in the last one because obviously he's talking and he's already said, I'm pretty much doing this as an act, but then he keeps doing it, which is kind of a weird, this weird dynamic. But whenever he walked into that cage to fight Usman last time, I haven't seen somebody that terrified, especially at that level. I think ever. Like he looked. Dude, he looked concerned. Like he looked worried. It was the strangest thing, and I was like, man, maybe he's just because he's a professional and he's used to being at that level. So I was like, man, maybe he's just maybe his face is just wearing a different message. I don't know. But then when I started watching him perform, I was like, no, this dude seems a little shook right now. Like he's not really performing at all. And it wasn't until he got hurt in the third round that he really started like open up and just say fuck it. It looked like. But you take someone like Strickland where he goes in there and he's talking his way through the fight. Like that just seems like that's what he does. Whether it's to boost himself up in the moment or not. I mean that I think it seems pretty genuine what he does. I think that's
So
just all it is, man. You just got to be genuine. Like when Dominic Cruz talks, he doesn't try to go out of his way to do it. He's just witty and sharp, and
it's real. It's
yeah,
authentic. Yeah.
it's real. Same thing by me. And if I feel like one angle is going to play to mentally put me in a better position to defeat my opponent, then I'll play that angle.
All right. So I got one more question before we move to Harrison. Is this your body? You have no tattoos. When are you gonna get it? Are you gonna get a tattoo ever?
Just fucking face. Just get a good.
Just get the Mike Tyson
Yeah,
on the
dude.
face.
Yeah, Lone Star things go right in the Lone Star State. I'll just get Trey the Truth on my fucking face. I remember seeing that when I met Trey the Truth. That was the most gangster shit ever. I was there last time for Cruz versus I'm sorry, not Cruz. Dominic Reyes versus John Jones.
Bones.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we had this thing at Hooters where it was like this meet and greet and whatnot. And Trey the Truth showed up, and he had this little iced out mini Trey the Truth on his neck, and I was like, "That's the coldest shit I've ever seen, dog. I need to like." And get a little mini face. I'm not even get my own face. I just want to get your face around my neck. That's super hard. But no, I don't think. I feel like it kind of passed. I don't really. There's
Don't want
nothing.
to get the
There's nothing like
trademark like
flaws.
last name on the
Yeah,
back.
that
The
Hernandez on
the,
the
the,
back.
the, the jersey name.
Oh yeah, just get the Hernandez on the back and like red, white, and green, maybe that eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that really like beckons me. So I'll probably. I kind of like just the natty look.
The natty
The
look.
natty,
All
yeah.
right. So as I've been hinting to, so this my interns, this is a little segment. So if you've ever wanted to tell a reporter to fuck off, this is your opportunity. So he has 5 questions. If you like the question, he gets to ask another. But if you don't like the question, you tell him to fuck off, and then we wrap this thing up. Does that make sense?
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
And they're more like random questions than the main segment of the interview.
I started to go off the rails there at the end.
Yeah,
But anyway,
that's fair. That's fair. But
Yeah.
yeah. So here we go. So being from Texas, which is like the state of barbecue, do you have like a favorite place in the state to go to get your food, or like a favorite order?
Hey man, what's that place in New Braunfels? Barbecue spot in New Braunfels? Coopers. Coopers in New Braunfels, Texas, baby. The
Yeah.
OG of barbecue right there. Yeah. Fat slabs of filthy meat. It's a
Mm.
Oh
spot.
yeah.
Yeah. And you literally come in with like a lunch tray. You just point and they just throw that slab of meat on the tray raw like that. You go to a ladle, pour some barbecue sauce on it, and then just eat it with your chops. They don't even give you silverware there. Put little baked beans on the
You're
side.
a bitch if you're a bitch if you use any silverware.
Oh yeah, no
Oh
plates.
yeah.
Just
Oh
throw it
yeah.
Yeah.
in. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, medieval.
No utensils. Yeah, there we go.
So like, do you like brisket or pulled pork more than? Like, what kind of stuff do you go for?
or ribs.
Brisket, yeah, brisket and ribs.
Brisket.
You put a little pulled pork on the plate too, but yeah, brisket's like the staple of testing a place. Like anytime you go into any
Sure.
barbecue spot, you got to get a slab of brisket. It's like it's the staple. It's the baseline.
It's got to have like the nice smoke rings on the inside too. If it doesn't have that, it's not worth its salt.
Oh yeah, just be marbled down. Like if you don't have a storage of sweat accumulating around the neckline and the pits after 3 bites, that's poor brisket. You gotta just toss that in the trash and get some more.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Following up, is this question 2 or 3?
2. This is number 2. This is number 2.
2. All right, awesome. So, in your downtime, what's your favorite thing to do to like relax, get your body prepped for the next day of training, anything like that?
Well, those are kind of two things, because I mean, like I just like to chill hard as fuck, especially with the
Mhm.
boys. I like to blow loud and just kick it with the homies. Sometimes stretch my thighs and roll out a little bit.
Mhm.
But that's what I really enjoy doing. Getting ready for a fight, I stop about 5 weeks out just to get that head clarity and just everything else on my
Yeah.
own endogenous track. But man, I just like to chill so fucking hard, and just hang with the
Yeah.
homies and laugh and get a little crossfaded when I can. And so I don't really do any like. Like my girlfriend, for instance, is real ambitious. She likes to, let's go on this hike or let's do this or let's do that. And I'm just like, I just want to post the fuck up. Like, I just want to post. I'm like that scarecrow if he just sat and could
Yeah.
just post. I just love
Just slump.
posting up.
Just slump.
But for recovery though, I do all kinds of crazy shit. That's the thing. Recovery is almost like an activity for me too, because I'll jump into some cold water and work on my breath and do a lot of mobility work and rolling out and
Mhm.
contrast therapy, all kinds of different shit.
Nice. Nice.
Recovery's all over the place. There's literally everyone has their best
I
therapy.
mean, I'm a machine with it, though. I really am. I mean, I don't know anyone who's more disciplined, diligent with it than I am. But man, when I'm hanging, dude, I hang hard and low, dude. I hang so goddamn low when I'm hanging.
Hell
I
yeah.
like to do
Some
that.
say the most posted
The
too. Just
most,
the most.
the office of post.
Yes, sir.
The post and no to post.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have like a spot in the world where you'd love to fight, like just anywhere in the world, and pull up and have a fight there?
Texas, baby. I think Texas
Texas?
hometown, because you can't.
Texas forever.
Yeah, you can't beat the hometown. So it's like, man, if you could just go somewhere and have an arena on your side, that's where you'd want to be.
Don't want to go in Brazil and just like fight a Brazilian in a Brazil card.
Yeah. Not
Just have everyone just say like "fuck you, dude."
just get fucking stoned to death on the way out. I'm getting kicked out of my office space here. Oh, but yeah, that's probably just Texas because it's Texas.
That's fair. That's very fair. All
All
right.
right, number
Let me
4.
right here. I was gonna ask a question about the Super Bowl, but you said earlier
doesn't
in
give
the,
a fuck.
Fuck off
in
with
the
that
interview
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I'm coming up with something new real quick. But
On the spot. Oh,
so
you're
what's
supposed
your
to have
favorite?
5.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? We were talking about partying earlier. What's your favorite college party memory that you can remember off the top of your dome?
Man, I don't know. I feel like I did my better work afterwards because I really didn't.
Really?
I didn't really go to a school like that. I was at UTSA, which like didn't really have real like fraternities or sororities and things like that. It was just some assholes,
Yeah.
with polos on in an
Is it like a
in an
campus like
apartment
on in the
complex.
city?
No, San Antonio's not even like really a city, dude. It's just like an accumulation
Really?
of suburban neighborhoods and residential areas. And like the
Okay.
downtown is like now it's starting to gentrify and get pretty cool where they got some little like, modern, yeah, I don't know, quirky little
I'm in
cool
Indianapolis. They're doing
areas
the
that,
same shit. They're doing the
yeah,
same
like they're
shit.
kind of like
So
building little hipster spots. That I guess it's fun. Man, I don't know, dude. I've done some like really cool shit though, like in Bali, Indonesia, and in like all of Europe, and doing like dope trips like that after, like once I got some money afterwards, and those have been like some of the craziest times. And
Yeah.
What's the best place? Which one was the best out of all? Like, so I know I've heard Indonesia's fucking nuts.
Dude, yeah, that's really cool. Gili Island is the coolest place you could ever probably go. It's like Neverland for adults. You
Wow.
you get
Okay,
on
okay.
a boat and you like so from Bali you ride a boat for like an hour out to this little island, and drugs are completely illegal in Indonesia. You lose a hand for you know trying to procure. It wouldn't even be marijuana. It'd probably be just some rusty leaves. Just just maybe some toasted hen feathers or something. But you can't even you don't want to ask for that. And but when you get to Gili Island though, it's like this little mushroom island, and like the Airbnb host would make us mushroom smoothies. And then you like walk down this strip, and they love, yeah. And we had this. It was me and like six buddies, and we had this awesome like MTV style like Airbnb pad that was on the side of this island, and we would just like wake up, you grab some snorkels and some scuba or some flips, and you would jump in the ocean. And I mean, I was able to pet a sea turtle there. You just go off on your own. Like we just swam. And then like in the night, you'd get on these little bikes and you ride your bike around the island, and they had cool little shops and things where you could eat, drink, or whatever. And then like at night, it would turn into like just a strip of bars and clubs. But it's kind of like outdoor, indoor, where like everything you just kind of flow through the street. And I don't know, for some reason they loved like Eminem, like in 2002, they just loved some Slim Shady, and it was
They're
just like,
they're 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 like they're like 20 years behind in their
yeah,
music. So.
yeah, but it was so awesome, dude. It was just like all these people just exploring themselves and going out and hanging out. It was just a cool time. So it was just the
Okay, Gili
coolest.
Island. Gili Island.
Yeah,
I'm putting that on the bucket list
we
now.
lost all
Yeah.
of our bikes the last day, and the guy tried to fine us for him, but I felt like there was a little bit of like some conspiracy at hand there, because I feel like he might have harbored the bikes and then just try to fuck us at the end.
He's trying to
Anyways,
fuck the
we were like
Americans.
trying to
Trying to
like
fuck the
push.
Americans.
We were trying to get on this boat to get off, and obviously we had a line of travel to get on a plane to get the fuck out of there. And we're like, dude, we can't miss his boat. We can't miss the flight. And he's like, you must pay now. And none of us had any money at that time. We're like, dude, we're maxed out. I can't make any more withdrawals. My buddy's like, here, dude, take this iPad right now. And he's like, this is version 1. No good. I'm like, this is version 1? What the fuck are you guys using? So it was funny. It was just like, man, it was just a hell of a trip. I couldn't believe
Sounds like it.
yeah, it was a good time, man.
All right,
Oh
bucket
yeah.
list. All right, last one, Harry. Last one.
All right. So on fight days, what's your go-to pre and post fight meal to get yourself ready and then to really chill out afterward and
I pretty much
recover?
just eat the same things that I don't really change like my diet until after the fight's over. So wake up and just kind of hit some like little eggs and avocado toast. I use Ezekiel bread. It's less processed,
Okay.
better for you. And then I'll just get a little lunch, which is just like some vegetables and some little carb and some meat. Just like everything's just real light and simple.
Mhm.
And then afterwards, um, I've just got other things on mind. So I mean, food just comes as it comes. I've just I'm just kind of
Fair enough.
yeah. It becomes just
Well, at that point, the fight it doesn't matter because you're already made weight. So who cares?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm talking about after the fight. Like
Oh,
once the
oh.
fight's over, then yeah. Well, after I make weight, it's just professional. I don't change anything. I just kind of fuel back up, and I don't really indulge in anything. And then after the fight, it's pretty much nothing but indulgences.
Are you a bone broth guy? Like I've heard bone broth is like everyone's favorite like
Yeah.
refuel.
Yeah, I do that. I do. Yeah,
Is it any
I
good?
do
It
sip
just
from the
sounds
broth.
gross.
I mean,
It
it's not
sounds gross.
awesome, but again, it's like, dude, everything just becomes about utility at the end. You're not like, I don't really care about enjoying anything. I'm just like,
War mode.
fuel. Yeah, it's just a fuel source at that point. But yeah, I think it's tight. I'm not like hard on broth, or I'm like, oh, that, I feel hearty after that. I just think it might be doing something well, so I added in. I'll probably
All right.
take a few hits of that broth right now, actually.
Good
Oh, go
stuff.
for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Do you have it on? Do you have it on brand? Like have it like in the house?
I've got it on tap actually, dude. I just
Bullshit. You don't have it
like
on tap. That's
like a
that's
seltzer
bullshit.
drip, dude.
Damn.
Bullshit. No, you don't.
Yeah,
No, you don't.
just fucking fill me up.
All right.
All
So
right,
that's what we got for you, man. Obviously,
cool.
got the fight. This is coming out Tuesday, so that'll be this Saturday, technically when this is released. What should we expect for you on Friday? I mean on Saturday.
Just fat dubs,
Fat
Yes,
dubs.
sir.
big old victory parades, and eccentric sounds.
Ignorant shit in Houston that night. So a lot of fun. That was awesome catching up with our man Alexander. But first and foremost, I want to once again thank the sponsor of the show, Living.Fit. Living.Fit is a health and wellness company that help you achieve all your goals, from building muscle, losing fat, or maybe just trying something a little bit new. Not only are there workout programs, but they can also help with your nutrition and build out your home gym. And for all my personal trainers out there looking to get certified in kettlebell and battle rope movements, they're the place to be. Make sure you go visit the website or download the app Living.Fit today. Now here's William Knight. We are joined by a big baller who's stepping in late notice to fight Maxime Grishin. It is Will Knight. Will, my man, how we doing?
I'm good. Other than, my eyes being dilated.
That probably doesn't feel very great, but I got to ask the first question. This is the most important question, probably question everyone wants to know the answer to. When was the first time you were ever accused of steroids?
Ever since I joined the sports of martial arts.
Really? Didn't happen in high school or anything like that when you were like just pumping out weights like it was nothing?
No, that's the thing. In high school, I didn't do no weightlifting and stuff. I was just on the wrestling team. Every time it was time for us to lift, I'll find a way to go home because I hated lifting.
Really? You didn't want to lift weights when you were younger, and all of a sudden it's like your thing. It's like your favorite thing to do. One of your favorite things to do.
Cause when I was younger, I was more into calisthenics. So it's like push-ups, pull-ups. Those are the things I like to do. Backflips, flips, like one-hand push-ups. Those cool things I used to see in martial art videos. They never really show them lifting weights.
How many muscle-ups could you do?
Muscle-ups right now, the most I've done was 6.
Okay. So then when was kind of that bridge where you realized, oh, lifting weights is cool? Let's start doing that now too.
It wasn't even more so that it was cool. It was a requirement in order to lose weight and stay in an endurance standpoint. So I would talk to a guy because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know anything about bodybuilders and what weights actually do, but I would see these things about before and after pictures of like bodybuilders, not understanding what bodybuilding was. So it would be like them all built up and then they're all flabby. And I swear to God, that's what kept me away from weights. I'm like, yo, I do not want to lift weights if I have to keep lifting weights to stay looking like that. Whatever my body looks like naturally without lifting weights is what I want. But then I realized, some dude was sitting there talking to me. He was like, listen, lifting weights is like you doing those 100 push-ups you do at work every day. Like every time we have break, you do 100 push-ups and you bust them out. Now think of that, how easy it is. Now put that in perspective of benching. When you bench, you're putting weight on that's more than you to an extent. And then it's like, oh, okay, I understand it now. And he's like, yo, just lift weights. Like there's no wrong in it. He's like, lift weights, you don't have to use nothing that people are using or anything like that. And I asked him what it was. He's like, steroids. And I was like, I don't know what steroids are. He's like, there's dudes on steroids, you can tell the difference. Like, you'll know the difference when you're in the weight room. Like, they'll have attitude problems. You can see it on them, like their sweat is slimy. He's like pointing out mad shit. And he was like, you probably won't need that shit because you're almost 300 pounds. You're a big boy already, and probably when you start leaning out, you're gonna like your size. And I was like, all right, I'll look into it. So over time, I started losing the weight, like he said, and then literally under all the fat was what you see today. That's what was under the fat. I never bodybuild or lift weights to look away. I didn't lift weights to target a muscle group and go eat and keep measuring myself and watch my growth. The only thing I cared about was making 205 on the scale.
So what was your max weight then? So you were over 300 pounds?
Yeah, 300 and I believe it was the max I seen at a doctor's was 311 pounds.
Sheesh. So was that like a super heavyweight class then in high school? Was that what it was? It was just like a super heavyweight?
No, that's out of high school.
That was out of high school.
Yeah, in high school I was 186 wrestling 215. Then my junior year I was 198. Then I hit my little growth spurt. I was about 209, 211, fluctuating depending on if I drank a Dunkin' Donuts hot chocolate.
Yeah, that'll help out. That'll fluctuate you a little bit. So I'm someone who also like not even close to like that. I was like 240, now I'm like 180 or whatever, or 190. Sorry, don't want to give myself a little advantage there. But what was like, so this I was gonna ask this later, but like, what's more rewarding you? Because I know you're also a personal trainer. Is it getting the win, not flatlining someone, just getting a win, or helping someone lose over 100 pounds?
Helping someone lose over 100 pounds, man, because it's like rewarding to see somebody like get results that they're looking for. Like winning, that it's a temporary feeling compared to me helping someone lose 100 pounds, and then that person's like forever grateful, and then it's like, damn, I just changed a human being's life. So yeah, the 100 pounds.
Okay, so and now I want to. I'm kind of all over the place with lifting. I don't know why, but I also kind of see you banging out these weights like they're just nothing. How many times can you rep 405 on deadlift? Because I saw you doing it without a belt, and it looked like it was easy.
Yeah, it's easy. The most I always stop at 10. Like
10?
I know I could do more, but I always rep out 10. Like I do 4 sets of 10 or 5 sets of 10. If I do 5 sets of 10, it's because it's cold. Like I didn't do anything before that. If I do 4 sets of 10, it's probably chances are is after I just finished squatting.
So at what point then? What weight is it then you put on a belt? Like what's the point where you're like, all right, I need a little extra security, or do you not use a belt?
Yeah, I try to stay away from that stuff.
Don't want to use it. Don't want to like using the
And
belts,
because
straps, anything like that.
I feel like if you're using a belt, chances are like maybe your body is reached this point. Why force it? Because looking at Ronnie Coleman and shit, yo, that shit scares me, man. That shit scares me. Like I don't want to be like that when I get older. I'm not a bodybuilder and I'm not a power lifter. I'm a fighter. So at the end of the day, I don't want to sit here and put myself at risk. I want to retire and be able to go places without walking on crutches the whole night.
That makes sense. I don't want to go in the snap city either. Like I'm not a fighter or anything like that. I have like a certain weight threshold for all my stuff too, but that makes complete sense. So let's talk about the fight game. You got a big fight coming up, and I noticed this. You have this grappling match scheduled the week after. Are you still going to do that no matter what happens in the octagon? God forbid an injury.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Most people don't know I'm injured before. Most fighters are probably injured before they fight and after they fight. They just don't talk about it.
Well, like a serious injury, That's what I'm saying. God forbid.
If I obtain a serious injury, the grappling match is still going down, man. I wrestled in my senior year. I wrestled state open with a broken collarbone, like, and they didn't even know. My coach was like, "Holy shit!" when they found out that it was broken. He's like, "And you went all those matches?" I'm like, "Yo, I don't know, man. My adrenaline is no joke. It does things to me."
What was the most, so like if you were able to fight through a broken collarbone, then like what was kind of the point where you realized, oh, I could go and fight another human being in a cage?
I don't know, man. I have this mindset, man, and like you think of these things that give you an adrenaline rush, speeding in the car, like things like that, speeding in the car. I don't know, but I got into an
Shoplifting alcohol when you're younger, like that's what we all do, you know.
So like
Allegedly.
I got into an altercation with the human being, and I didn't fight him. I could have, but I didn't. And that adrenaline rush was like crazy. So like I've encountered it a couple more times, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like I don't know the outcome of this. There's another human being in front of me. He's threatening me, saying he's gonna fuck me up. He's talking shit. I cut him off on the road, or this guy in a grocery store because I was looking at somebody. It's like, yo, this feeling is crazy. It makes me like turns me crazy.
But then you also don't like hurting people, like, right? You still don't like hurting people?
Yeah, that part of me is like my happy nature. So like in the cage, it turns off. I still have that sense of like, damn, this person has to go back home to their family. But over time, my coach helped me pass that because they're there to hurt me. Once I passed that point is when I got my nose broken last year, April. I'm past that point now where I'm like, you know what, fuck it. This man broke my nose, got his hand raised, and fuck me. Like, not even, damn, my bad for breaking your nose, nothing. So I see that it's a kill or be killed sport.
It's one of those things you just gotta convince yourself like that, and then also is like you should like start making things up in your head about them. Like I know that's what a lot of other guys do. Like you make stuff up, like hey, he's talk shit about like I don't know, like my mom or something. Like I'm gonna go fuck him up. Like you start doing that, help out a little
That's
bit.
the thing, like that's crazy. I don't need to do that, yo. I just turn on my kill switch, like, yo, this dude gotta die. He's in the middle of me making my money and me getting another fight as soon as possible. And I got there with the kill or be killed mentality. Same with the men in field. I think the first time I was gonna fight him, I was like a little bothered, like, yo, why are they making me fight this dude? I think I thought at the time he was top 15. So I'm like, dude, why are they making me fight this dude? I was like bothered by it. And then out of nowhere, after those couple fights, I'm like, yo, I'm ready to destroy everybody. I just want to get to the top, achieve things before I'm 38, and just live happy.
So one thing I forgot to ask earlier, we were talking about how much you like doing like calisthenics and stuff. When did you realize you could do the splits and not like completely destroy your family jewels?
Watching my sister do crazy shit, my older sister. I was young. I was in Maple Street School, so that's elementary school. I don't know how old I was then. Like, I could have been 7, 8, or 9. But at the time, I was around that age doing it. I used to do like, I would swing and jump off the swing into a split, like land on the floor in a split. Shit like that, backflip and land in a split midair. My sister used to tell me all the crazy shit I used to do. Do backflips off the porch. Like I would jump off the seesaw. Like I would flip off the saw into the sawdust on the playground into a split. And I didn't believe her. I'm like, I never used to do that shit. She's like, yo, I'm telling you, you were crazy. Like, you were like, I do push-ups for fun. You used to do all that shit. Like, my sister could tell you. She remembers everything. But I never believed her. But then that mentality, her telling me that started to make me wonder. And the more I wondered and got curious, I was like, let me see if I can do it now. And my big ass went and did this shit. And I'm like, yo, she wasn't lying. Like, literally, I don't remember. I'm almost 300 pounds doing a split. I got a video on my Instagram, actually. It's one of my first videos I posted. And it's me over 288 doing backflips into splits and shit. That shit's crazy.
Bro, I feel like that's like, if I were to try to do the splits, I feel like, God bless, I don't even imagine being 288 pounds doing the splits and a backflip. That's just absurd athleticism. That just hurts me thinking about trying to do the splits. Like I slipped the other day and my legs were like bare, like, I don't know, a little bit over a sumo length, like for a sumo deadlift. And I thought I was going to rip my balls. Like I thought my balls were going to rip off. Like that's how much it was in pain, but it was bad. But back to the fight. I keep taking these sidetracks, but like, what are you excited most about getting back into the octagon here in 2 weeks or a week from when this is aired?
If you think about it, I'm back on the Adesanya card, and like I fought in Abu Dhabi on the same card as him. He fought Costa, and then I get to fight again on the main card with him again. And not only that, the most exciting thing to me is the fans. If you thought I had an adrenaline rush with no fans, this would be crazy.
When was the last time you fought in front of fans?
Contender series fight.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, so right after Contender Series of August, it was boom, COVID. I was like, damn. So I really didn't get that chance to fight in front of the crowd. I guess the biggest crowd is like 8,000 people. I believe that was Reality Fighting at Mohegan Sun.
You're definitely gonna be in a bigger crowd this time. We can tell you that much. That's what it is. But what was it like though? Like your first fight in UFC though, you said it a minute ago, was in Abu Dhabi. Like it was short notice too. Am I right?
Yeah, same shit. So September 1st, I fought Cody Brundage to get my second Contender Series, and then I didn't even land yet. And they offered me to fight Aleska Cameron, and I was like, yeah, let's go. And 2 weeks, I was back at home for 2 weeks, then they flew me out again. So I fought twice, September 1st and then September 26th.
Way it works. That's a fight game. Gotta always be ready. Gotta always be ready to go. And then you're gonna be flying back from Houston, and then you're gonna be in a grappling match literally in a week, all over the place. And who knows? Maybe if you get a quick finish, you'll be fighting again in 3 weeks. And who knows?
I'm trying to fight March 8th card for real though. Don't worry.
Well, which one? The April one?
It don't matter what card, just one of them.
Okay. So I kind of want to ask, this is something I heard in an interview. You said, did you got COVID and then 2 weeks later you fought? Was that against Daniel and Jung?
Yep. That was in April last year. I got COVID on the end of March when I was supposed to fight a Benefield. Then I was quarantined for 2 weeks. Right after my 2 weeks, I literally had a couple days. Then they flew me out. After that, they had the medical. I went to their medical facility in Vegas, made sure everything was good. I wasn't contagious. I wasn't sick. And then I fought him. Went 3 rounds with him, not knowing who he was, nothing. And then it's like, it was crazy. I didn't feel like myself in that fight. But I survived. And just to see him destroying people, knocking them out left and right, it puts that mindset to be like, yo, if we ever crash heads again, I know where it's gonna go.
You got that adrenaline factor of it too. You got that adrenaline that we were talking about earlier. How you always get that adrenaline before a fight like that. So I got one more question about this fight specifically is, again, you're taking a short notice. Have you had any time whatsoever to even look at his tape, or are you still kind of doing, or is that next week kind of stuff?
Oh man, I'm one of them rare people, like people don't believe in it, but I do. I'm a fighter. It's not my job to look at tape. That's my coach's job. At the end of the day, I've fought for 5 years now, going on 6. And if you think about it, I've never looked at no opponent's tape. It's doing good for me. So why break something that's not broken?
No, I mean, I've heard other guys say that too. You let the coaches are, I mean, they're coaches for a reason. They catch things. They teach you to do those. They prepare for those guys properly. And you guys got a great team. I trust you guys. 5-0 last year, I believe. Like unreal. Anyway, so this is my last question before we move on to my intern. This is about gambling. Is 14,000 the most someone's made off betting on you? Or have you heard more?
I think it was 14. It was 14,000.
And then how often do you look at those betting odds before a fight? I'm just out of curiosity. Do you ever look at them, or do you just kind of hear about them afterwards?
People tell me about them, but I never really looked into them. The first time I really learned gambling odds was what's that guy, Nico Gray or whatever, that gambling dude, when they said that Cody Burgess was gonna beat me. That's when I started to look at, like, what does this odds and underdog shit stand for? What does it mean? Like, I'm not no fucking underdog. I'm gonna snoop this dude. I didn't realize that's what it meant for the gambling. Like, underdog means bet on him, you get more money. I was like, okay.
We want you to be the underdog so we can make more money. That's what we want. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to tell you what the odds are for this fight. I'm just leaving. You can find that out yourself. I'm not going to say it. Don't want to put you in a weird mindset by telling you which is which. But anyway, as I said, my intern here hasn't said a word. This is a game. If you've ever wanted to tell a reporter to shut the fuck up, this is your opportunity. He's going to give you 5 questions. If you like the question, we move on to the next one. But if you don't like the question, you have to tell him, and then you wrap this thing up.
Okay, let's go.
All right,
let's do this thing. All right, so I did a little bit of research beforehand. Got some good questions for you. So I saw that one of your favorite hobbies when you're not fighting is restoring cars. Is there one you've been working on recently, or one that you just like is your absolute favorite that you've restored, or anything like that?
It's crazy. It's a 1995 Honda Civic hatchback.
Damn.
It's a 4-cylinder, but my past build on this similar motor, we made over 700 horsepower. So
wow.
On this one, I'm looking to make about 600 to 700 again, but this time I'm gonna put a roll cage and stuff in it and have a track ready. I'm trying to run 10s.
Nice. That's gonna be sick. That's gonna be real cool. Is it what color is it? Is it like a cherry red or like anything like that, or
it's like a green, like a turquoise.
Green.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like no rust on the body. Like that's how like my car
Nice.
is. Like we call it Honda cancer. Like no rust on the body, nothing. The car is a 4-cylinder with a nice ass turbo. It has a forged block. It has forged internals. The cylinder head is decked and ported, bench flowed. We got stage 3 cams, yo. Like even on the start,
Yeah.
it sounds like a American made. It's like cluck, 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 yo.
Yeah.
You'll see it soon, yo. It'll be on my Instagram real soon. Don't worry.
I'm gonna keep my eye out for that. That's got to be a real unique. Like I love love a car that's like a cool color, like the turquoise. That sounds peak.
A lot better than
But,
like the real bright yellows and green. It's a lot better than the really bright yellow and bright greens. I'm not a big fan of those like fluorescent cars.
Yeah,
that's just me. That's just me. Anyway, level 2.
Level 2. All right. I also saw that you were a fan of Marvel Contest of Champions.
Yeah.
Who is your main on that? Who do you always go for, and who do you stay away from?
Right now, damn, my favorite character that I like to use on the game is Hyperion. So
snap.
Between Hyperion and Hercules, Corvus Glaive, I would have to say Captain America, Infinity War, and who else? Who else is my favorite? There's one more, Omega Red. Those are like my top 5. And then who I stay away from, Ebony Maw, because he's a cheating ass motherfucker. Him, Professor Xavier, because his telekinesis, he's on some bullshit too. He puts you in this world, and then him, and then who else is a cheater? Who else do I hate fighting? Ebony Maw, Professor Xavier. Oh, Silver Surfer. He's bullshit.
He's too OP. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, those 2 I hate. I hate fighting those 3. Of all of them, those are the 3 I hate fighting.
Good stuff. So, like, my next question then, building off of that, then, have you seen No Way Home yet? And if so, kind of thoughts on that?
So, I haven't seen No Way Home. I'm gonna watch that actually today. Yeah.
Oh,
today I'm actually gonna watch it.
Has it been spoiled for you already?
No, nothing is
good.
spoiled.
Good.
So let's just leave it that way.
All right, we'll leave it that way. No, I'm generally surprised you haven't been spoiled yet, because it's been out for like over a month.
Yeah, but I follow a fight. Following is mostly like fighters and like fighters, so I don't get to see that stuff. They're always talking about fightings, new techniques, new glove, new appeal, new equipment. Then it's like then the gym people. You got different ways of lifting, all that stuff. So ever since I've been in the sports, that's what was really on my news feed. I haven't really had the casuals ruin nothing for me yet.
Good. I hope. I bet you're gonna love it. That's all I'm gonna leave it at. Just go out and enjoy that. And I guess we're moving on to round 4.
Yeah.
So again, we were talking about the gym. Well, this is kind of a personal one for me. Like, how did you break your collarbone? Because I'm coming off of a collarbone break right now, and I could not possibly imagine wrestling in that state.
So this is before I was lifting. So in States, I ran against a guy from Conard, and I did a lat drop to him, but I doubled under with my arms. And when he fell, all his force and my force, collarbone. And I didn't even realize the pinned and everything. Went on to wrestle the guy from Xavier, went on to wrestle the guy from Hartford Public, and then Ledger, the guy from Ledger beat me by 1 point, even though my coach was like, yo, we got the takedown when we went out of bounds. And then that was it. So after the cool down now, I took a Tylenol. I asked him, I'm like, after the cool down, we're driving home from Trumbull, and my collar was like, my shoulder was still hurt. I'm like, telling him, like, yo, something's wrong. He's like, nah, he probably just tweaked it. Went to the doctor, broke my collarbone.
That's no joke. That's I broke my collarbone in a bike crash last April. And when you said that you wrestled the whole tournament like that blew my mind, because I was just lying in bed, trying not to move my arm like at all, and I could not imagine wrestling on that because I used to wrestle in high school too. So
that's the difference between a professional athlete mindset and then us casuals at home mindsets.
Yeah, exactly. All right, last one here for you. Almost made it through the gauntlet. So what's your favorite cheat meal for after a workout, after a fight, something like that?
Anybody knows me, it's a burger and fries. That's my favorite cheat meal, is a fucking burger and fries. It has to be a big ass burger though, and French fries, and a whole thing of ketchup. I need ketchup. I dump the burger and the fries in the ketchup and I go ham. That's the cheat meal. But that's after the fight. Before the fight, it's Thai rice. Cause I have to rehydrate and shit like that. So I eat Thai rice. I'll eat pho. Cause of bone broth, yo, that shit's no joke. Yep. That's like the sensu bean of our world. In Dragon Ball Z, you take a sensu bean, they get fully replenished. Over here, for me, it's the pho. I drink pho, drink the bone broth, eat the noodles, eat the beef, and I feel like a king.
You're an anime guy too. I've noticed that too. What's your favorite anime?
My favorite, I just said it, Dragon Ball Z.
It is Dragon Ball Z? Okay. Just hey, that's my favorite too. I just have to make sure.
Dragon Ball Z, man. And then if you take it down just to a second place and be like, right now at a standpoint, it's between One Piece and Naruto in like second place. So it's like here. And then Hero Academia. What? Let's talk about that.
Do you watch? Okay, so here's another one. Do you watch the dubs or do you watch them like with the original voices with the subtitles?
I watch them with the original voices because at the end of the day, I can't watch the dubs because they edit shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks a bit off when the mouths don't sync up.
Yeah,
so,
it's
but like
crazy. And then, anyways, with the early releases, we don't get the English dub till like 2 weeks later. So you just gotta cope with it.
Yeah. So, like, would you ever think about substituting the pho for like a ramen, like Ichiraku style, or?
I mean, I'll mess with ramen if I could find a place that can make it dope. I gotta find a place that make it dope.
Yeah, that's the key.
Spicy, but not spicy and flavorful.
Can't be like that stuff out of the packet. None of that. I
gotta finesse that. Like when I buy ramen from the store, I gotta finesse it myself, and then
exactly.
It's so like process that is like inhaled and gone.
Yep, gone in a second. Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna be asked that you went through the gauntlet, made it through the interview. Got one last question for you. You're gonna hear it 1,000 times. What should we expect from you on Saturday at UFC 271?
Well, man, expect the same thing, man. I don't train to lose. I'm going in there to knock this man out, finish him. I don't go into fights to win by decisions. I go into fights to be finished or get a finish. That's it. You gotta knock me the fuck out if you think that's the only way to beat me. I don't know if y'all see my fight when I fought for CES against Jamel. He put me in crazy submissions and I got out of there. Rocky Edwards, same shit.
I watched that one. I heard some things. I was listening to interviews and you were talking about that one a lot. That was nuts.
I ain't playing, bro. I ain't playing. Like, you got to knock me out. You have to. If you hit him, Cody Brundage, you're punching me, I'm going to find a way out, bro. Yeah, I'm blocking, and then boom, game over. I'm going to fuck you up, though. Like, you landing some punches, I'm like, okay, I got you.
Overextend, you're fucked.
Yeah, right. I got that mindset, man. It's like, I got to die. If the ref stops it, he's a dickhead. Just let me die.
All right, man. Love to hear it. So again, find this Saturday. If there's anyone else you want to give a shout out to, here's your opportunity.
I want to shout out Thornton's Mixed Martial Arts and Fitness. I want to shout out my boy Darian over there. You know, he's been helping me. And I want to shout out Miss Navarro from Bushido. That's really like my team, all my teammates and team that's been helping me. All my personal team with my nutrition, my food, my scheduling for training, all that. So shout out everybody. And it's like, that's really it, man.
Love to hear it. So for all of us over here, for me, for Will, for Harrison, see you guys in a bit. See ya. All right, awesome interview with our boy Will Knight. Can't wait to watch him fight this weekend. He is literally a work of art. He's a force of nature. His body's chiseled from the gods. And obviously earlier, same thing with Alex Hernandez, Alex the Great. Same thing, chiseled from the gods. Dude's an animal. Dude's a beast. He's our man. He's our dude. But anyway, before we get to the trade wizard, what?
Carved like something Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci would do. Gods amongst men.
But yeah, so before we get to the trade wizard, got to go over our winners and losers of the weekend. Also, to give our performance bonuses in fights of the night. Let's just go ahead and start with. Let's just go back to the card. We already previewed it. If you haven't checked, or not previewed, we recapped it. Haven't listened to recaps. It's on the YouTube, strictly on the YouTube. Isn't on any of the streaming.
Go check that out.
Go check that out. Go subscribe. Check out the new intro we got for the videos. It's so fucking funny. Anyway, oh my god, stuff. It's so funny. Anyway, let's start with our performance bonuses of fight of the night. I'm gonna start with my performance bonus. My performance bonus goes to Sam Alvey. You might be asking, why is Sam Alvey getting the performance bonus? He lost. Well, he got another contract more than likely. He came out after the fights and said, I might have lost a step, but I'm not gonna retire now. That like mind setting of just thinking like I have to go out there and fight again after losing 8 in a row, like performance bonus goes to you, man. Like that's impressive. Like if I lost 8 times in a row, I would just like kneel on a ball, roll in the corner, turn off, delete all my social media, and never want to be seen again. But hey.
I'd just dig my own hole and dive in, cover myself up. You'd never hear from me ever again.
And also he chinned Allen a couple times, so props to him for that. But yeah. Performance bonus, Sam Alvey. I'll give you my pat on the back, $50K Dogecoin.
Yes, sir. To the moon.
To the moon. That's like what, like $1?
Yeah, maybe.
Somewhere like
it depends. It fluctuates.
Yeah, well, not that much. All right. Here
not that much.
Your performance.
My performance bonus goes to Rakhmonov because, oh my god, just the spinning wheel kick, the straight punches to the face, and that cartwheel he tried to pull off. Just
all aboard the hype train.
Fight.
All aboard the hype train. He's that hype train.
Absolutely.
That delivered.
Fuzzy Hat Gang.
Fuzzy Hat Crew. Yeah, exactly. So let's move on to the fight of the night bonuses. My fight of the night, I don't know if you saw this because you didn't watch the post show or any of the other shows, was actually, we're talking to him today as this is aired. It's Michael Chiesa versus the earpiece. And this is something I've always been fascinated with, is the guys with the cauliflower ear. I've always wondered how they get like the IODs in there. And so I don't know if you saw this, Harry. I mean, like, how does this fit? How does that fit in there? It's mind blowing. If you're not watching and you're listening right now, like the IED is the thing that goes in your ear, like when you're on TV and stuff. And the cauliflower ear, kind of
it's
kind of hard to get stuff in your ear. Yeah, to the people who may not know what a cauliflower ear is. Yeah, so like the fact that they get these IED in there, fascinating. And we're also gonna ask him about headphones. That's another thing I ask because he's got some pretty big cauliflower ears, but that's a sign of respect. But that was my fight of the night, was his cauliflower ear against the IOD.
Gotcha. Nice. My fight of the night has to go to Sean Strickland versus Sean Strickland's former self. He was definitely going at it. He was either trying to keep the shit talking in or just wasn't thinking about it. But if he had stepped into the cage against his old self, I don't know what old Sean Strickland would have done and said to Sean Strickland we saw on Saturday.
Sean Strickland would have called Sean Strickland a pussy. Sean Strickland would have also called Sean Strickland a little bitch. Like it was, it was. Yeah. I see what you're talking about. His inner demons were being subdued by the new Sean Strickland. Yeah. So,
which was lame. Yeah, corny. Yeah. Come on now, give the people what they want. Be the douchebag.
We need the neo-Nazi Sean Strickland. That's what we need. We need the psychopath Sean Strickland. We need that character. Yeah. We need that character. Colby can only imagine if he was that character. But that's our performance bonuses and fight of the nights. Let's go to our winners and losers of the past weekend. So my first winner is Sam Alvey. Oh God, another award for Sam Alvey. Oh boy, why is he a winner? Again, I said earlier, he got another contract. He's still in the winning mindset. Congrats to him. But that also leaves me in my first loser. It's also Sam Alvey. He lost. Yeah. So Sam Alvey, clean sweep of all the awards this weekend. So
hey, good. He got a win somehow.
Yeah, Sam Alvey, he's a winner in our show. Yes. And I'll be extending an invite to have him on the show which she probably will not look at. So anyway, Eric.
That's fair. That's very fair. All right, my first winner goes to the nation of Senegal, which massive congratulations for winning the AFCON for the first time. And for those who don't know, that's the African Cup of Nations.
What
It's like
sport
the
is this?
football, soccer. It's
See, I thought you were referring to rugby or some shit.
no. Sadio Mane and Edouard Mendy brought home the title, and the party in Senegal probably has not ceased since Sunday night. So, massive congratulations to them,
Good thing Joe
and
Rogan's
well
not on our
deserved.
podcast to say anything racist.
Yes, very massive, very massive. And my first loser of the weekend is
Do I
number
get canceled for saying
41.
that?
No, we're
Okay.
making fun of Joe
Okay,
Rogan.
okay.
We're not actually we're not saying racist
I'm not saying
things because
anything.
that's
I
not
was just saying if Joe Rogan was to be on the podcast, we might be canceled. So
yeah,
I didn't say
exactly.
anything. It's just
We
the theoretical what Joe Rogan could have said.
this is an anti-racist podcast.
We are.
We don't say those
We're the
words.
number one anti-racist. Like, so, you know, part of my take might be the number one against Hitler and neo-Nazis. We're the number one against racism.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, my first loser, number 41 of the New Orleans Saints. Big man Alvin Kamara couldn't wait to hit someone on the field in the Pro Bowl, so he just did it the night before. So,
man.
Good stuff, I guess. Maybe wait until you're on the football field next time, bud.
It was a very, very well timed arrest too. They're like, "You want to play in the Pro Bowl?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Okay, man. You'll just play in the Pro Bowl. We'll get you after. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. They gave him a little bit of leniency, and then they're like, "All right, come on, then."
It would have been even funnier if they the cops pulled onto the field and put him in cuffs.
That would have been like a WWE style
Straight up
skit kind of thing.
That's some XFL shit.
You Stone Cold Steve Austin's music hits, and then these two dudes with handcuffs just come out to take Kamara off the field.
They just line up 11v11 cops versus the Pro Bowlers, and it's just like, if you tackle Kamara, you get to arrest him.
What's that movie?
Longest Yard.
The Longest Yard.
He's like Nelly.
Yeah,
he's the Nelly of the movie. Then you got Deshaun Watson as Adam Sandler. You got not CD Lamb. Sorry, CD. Didn't mean to put you like that. Henry Ruggs as
Henry
the receiver.
Ruggs.
Man, you got a whole roster of NFL players lately, which is not a good thing.
No.
Alvin Kamara, loser this week. That takes me to a winner, and that is steroids and cheating. Steroids are so fucking back, and I'm so excited.
Yes, sir. Going off of that, I think we should have an Olympics where where everyone's drugged up. See what the human body can actually do when there's 1,000 milligrams of steroids pumping through your veins.
I think steroids should be legal in general. That's just my opinion. A lot of these guys, they don't usually live that long in certain sports. And if you're in a sport where you don't live that long regardless, let them do steroids. For us, it's more entertaining. For them, they get to do better. They make more money. I mean, shit. If you want to be natural, be natural. But if you want to roid up and do that, I'm all for it. That's just me. But I think that's steroids, cheating. They're back. They're fucking back. And I'm excited to see 500. I can't wait to see this couple more 500-yard bombs this year. Maybe we'll get
absolutely.
Maybe
we've been sorely
Shohei will shoot up his ass and we'll get a 600-yard bomb.
Ooh, Bryce Harper steps up, 2 needles in the ass, 700 yards, gone.
Start tracking people's. No, I'm going to give you an assignment once baseball starts. I want you to track people's head sizes. Every year, we're going to have you track their head sizes and see how much bigger they get.
Yep, absolutely. I'll keep an eye on that.
All right, what's your next winner?
My next winner is the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Ooh, like that one.
Because they are well and truly back. They're back. Guitarist John Frusciante has rejoined the band after a long hiatus, and they sound like they're bringing back that Stadium Arcadium Californication sound. And that is the kind of music we've been sorely missing. So thank you, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Thank you, Anthony Kiedis. Thank you, Flea. We need this.
I'm glad they put their differences aside to finally get back together.
Yes.
That's the shit I grew up on. I love the Chili Peppers.
Oh,
love me some.
How you can how anyone hates on the Chili Peppers is beyond me. They
Apparently,
are just
I
the
heard
best.
an urban legend here in Indianapolis that they're like banned from performing at a certain center because they were in like thongs or whatever.
That checks out.
It does check out.
Indiana, the damn near Puritan state.
Oh yeah, imagine if they did that shit in Utah. Oof, oof, oof.
Oh, they would be banned from even entering the state.
We're speaking
They'd
of
have to like fly around.
speaking of people who don't like that kind of stuff, my loser this week is actually Old Whites. So it kind of reverts back to my winner of steroids and cheating being back. All these old white baseball writers are now going to be pissed because all their
Oh,
players
yeah.
are allowed to shoot up again, and just in general, they're on a rough stretch. The Old Whites have been taking a lot of hits. The Pro Bowl this past weekend, two hand touch. Old Whites hated that shit. They wanted to see people go for head hunting. So the Old Whites, they're having a bad 2022 so far. Hopefully they can bounce
T's and
back here
P's.
soon and they can get back to their old ways. But we'll see. Baseball's the stupidest fucking
T's and
sport in
P's.
the world. They may not even just like ban steroids again. They may like ban like a certain length amount of a bat or some shit, or like barrels have to be smaller
Oh,
or some shit to make the game more sufferable. But
yeah.
Anyway, loser, Old Whites.
So my other loser goes back to your previous winner and loser. My loser is just the MLB in general, because after it came out that they're not testing for steroids anymore, the same month that Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens were denied access to the Hall of Fame forever, it just makes them seem like complete and utter loser bozos. Just come on, let these guys in the Hall of Fame. Even if you're going off the steroid thing, Barry Bonds had 400 plus home runs before he even started shooting up. So get your heads out your asses and stop giving too much of a shit. You know?
It's my favorite. I love the pettiness that they did it the same month. Like that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Within a month of like the baseball voting, they're like, "All right, steroids, we're allowed." And Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, you're not allowed ever to come back.
Yeah, it's fuck you specifically, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens.
It's-
Specifically,
maybe
you two.
maybe Old Whites are winners this week because of that.
Maybe.
The old Whites, man, they have their ways. So that's what we got for our segments. We brought in a friend of the program, both of our friends from back in school. He's a big trade guy. This is a better intro than what I gave him on the actual thing, but I just kind of told him like, hey man, like just come on, give me your trades. We'll talk about the trades. And I shit you not, he gave us 38 different trades, and it was
insane.
It was pretty nuts. He didn't fall for a lot of the bait I was giving him, but it was a very fun time. It was
Funniest thing was literally 15, 20 minutes after we wrapped recording, news broke that Karis LeVert was heading to Cleveland for Ricky Rubio.
And he didn't even give that trade. He didn't even give Karis LeVert as a trade.
And he put Ricky Rubio in so many options for the Cavaliers to trade. So that nullified so many of his trade opinions.
The better thing was earlier in the day, they were literally reporting that trade was going to happen. And he didn't even pick up on that set and even offer it. So it just shows like his trades are wacky all over the place. We're not bringing him on, Arca, I love you. We're not bringing you on for just general insight. We're just here to have some fun, fuck around, and just get weird.
Yeah, so, why not get weird with it? Like,
it's NBA trades. Weird.
It's gonna be a wild week. We should just ride the flow, go with it, and see where we wind up.
So yeah, obviously again, recorded Sunday. Probably by the time we post this and this is on air, like there's probably more other stuff's probably already happened. But anyway, without further ado, here's our boy, the trade wizard, James Arca. All right, we're joined by a friend of mine. He comes from the skies, the dark mages of the NBA. It's the trade wizard himself, James Arca. So I just want to preface this by saying this. Arca sent me a spreadsheet with over 38 trades. He is wearing a polo, as professional as he is. He's treating this like he's Bill Simmons.
Oh yeah,
go Hoosiers! But you're treating this like he's Bill Simmons himself. So Bill, you have 38 trades. I want you to pick like 5, and then we'll go through them.
Yeah, no. Thank you for the intro. I'm happy to be on. This is one of my favorite podcasts out there right now. We're really breaking, the internet, going viral on this. But we'll try to break it down. I have some moves, for contenders in the East and the West. Some sleeper teams too, and then some teams that were just going to blow it up. They need to just reset the switch. So we can start off with the East. Any teams in particular you guys want to start off with? We can,
You know what,
dive right in.
James? I'm going to give you the dealer's choice. You get to decide which one's first.
All right, perfect. Let's start at the the top of the standings here in the East. So, the Bulls, number one seed right now, even with all their injuries, all the COVID related games missed by a lot of their players. So, obviously there's been a lot of buzz around, Jeremy Grant, upgrade the forward position. But that's just not going to happen if they're not going to include Pat Williams. So I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on, potentially putting Pat Williams in a trade or
They should
holding
trade
on
Zach
to him long
LaVine.
term.
I think that's the move they need to do to go forward. Is trade Zach LaVine.
That's a hot take. Why would they do that?
Get Bradley Beal, a better version of Zach LaVine.
All right. Well, the downside to that is you're going to have to pay Beal, a lot more money when he gets his extension. And, I guess the Wizards, if they are told by Beal that they don't, he doesn't want to be there anymore, LaVine is a little bit younger, but I don't really see that as a move for the Bulls. I think they need to make a smaller
So,
move
Mr.
here.
Trade Wizard, what's the trade? What's the trade for Mr. Williams?
All right. Well, I'm keeping on to Williams if I'm the Bulls, but they still need to upgrade the forward position. So, they could do a few different trades here. They could, target Chris Boucher from the Toronto Raptors. He's on an
Chris
expiring
Broussard?
deal right now.
Oh, okay.
Not Chris Broussard. Chris Boucher.
Oh, okay.
He's like 6'9", 4-man. He can play a little center. He's long. It gives the Bulls length. That will shore up the the 4 spot for them. So how does that one sound?
Okay. So who are they trading for? Pat Will for Chris Boucher straight up?
No, definitely.
You need
not.
to give me the trade for me to be like, oh, that's good or not.
So we're going with Troy Brown Jr., who's also on expiring, and then you can just throw 2 future second-round picks in there. And then from Toronto's perspective, they're getting a few more picks. If there's any team in the NBA who can do something with a second-round pick, it's going to be the Raptors. And yeah, so we can shore up the center spot for the Bulls, get a little bit of size, and then the Raptors get some picks and an expired with that. So who says no to that?
Well, I'm pulling it up right now, so I can tell you I say no. Actually, that's not that bad of a trade. That's actually not that bad of a trade, TBH.
No,
actually, Arca, I'm not gonna lie. I was fully expecting you to come out here first, guns blazing, or I'm gonna be like, dude, that's a terrible trade. Because I looked through some of these.
Yeah, no, we can't go with the blockbusters yet. We don't need to go into Simmons and Beal and Harden
some
and all that.
non-blockbusters where I was very puzzled. In the short time I've had a look, I was a little puzzled. Anyway, great start. I think that's a winner. I think that's a winning trade. Boucher can defend the rim, so I like that. I like that. 1-for-1 trade Wizard.
Okay, great. So we shored up the Bulls there. Let's go down to the Cavs now. So right now the Cavs are 4th in the East. The big question is, are they a real contender? You still have the Sixers and the Nets behind them. But I don't think anyone would choose the Cavs over those 2 teams. And then the Bucks, the Heat, the Bulls ahead of them too. So the real question with the Cavs is, are they going to make a win now move, or do they just need to make a small upgrade too? So there are a few different trades that they can go with. They could go for a guy like Eric Gordon. They could go blockbuster for CJ McCollum. But I think it's a little safer for Cleveland to go for an Eric Gordon. They currently have the Rockets 2nd round pick, so they could do a really simple trade: Ricky Rubio 2nd round pick back to the Rockets, and they get Eric Gordon. He has some experience in the playoffs. He's been there, made big shots. So that could help them out. If they want to go the CJ McCollum route, they'd probably have to include Rubio's expiring $17 million. Sexton would have to be involved in that. Maybe throw 1 or 2 first-round picks in there, Chetty Osman for some salary. But that may be a little too much. And I think going forward, CJ's a big salary too. I don't know if the Cavs want to have 2 undersized guards.
The last time Cleveland had their own baby boy play for them, they did win a title. So I think just based on that alone, they should just go all in for CJ McCollum. Yeah, bring
another. Why not?
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
what kind of value, Mr. Trade Wizard, do you put on someone who's going to be trade for his hometown?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. They have Mobley, they have Allen, so they have that defensive reassurance. if they want to go with McCollum and Garland as a small backcourt, long term they can, they still have those big guys down there. So that wouldn't be a terrible option, but more likely they go for Eric Gordon
Actually, I
trade.
like both. They're good shooters, put them around Mobley, but I need to get you a Wizard hat. I think that's the next step. The next time you come on, we get you a little Wizard hat. Anyway,
we need to get one of those.
Yeah, I'll get you one of those.
All right.
Anyway, I like both those.
Right,
I like both those. But yeah, perfect, Mr. Wizard. Let's move on to let's keep it moving. What do you got next for us?
All right, let's do it. So let's talk about some teams in the East that just need to blow it up, and not to just rain on your parade here, because I know you're a Pacers fan.
You're not raining on my parade.
But it's time
on my parade.
It's time for the Pacers to blow it up. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
Their window is slammed
shut.
Done.
It's done. So they're gonna build around. They're gonna build around Lance Stevenson now. Finally.
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely.
After his
what about CJ McConnell?
Yeah. Or maybe they could build around what's this guy's name? Alexej Pugazevsky.
Yeah.
So I was hoping you'd say the Pacers, because my brain. No. I don't want you to be able to weasel your way out of this. I want to ask this question. You put Domantas Sabonis for this Alexej guy. I'm pretty sure, don't know a whole lot about him, but I can guarantee he's not worth Domantas Sabonis straight up, right? So, on this list, that is what it says. And then right after, you have Montrezl Harrell, Thomas Bryant, Denny Avdija for Domantas Sabonis. So how does that go from straight up this bomb from OKC to the trio from Washington?
I had to explain some picks in here, so we're going to involve some picks here. So we can just start off with the Thunder. They have 36 picks going for the next couple of years. They don't need that many picks. Eventually, they're going to have to cash in, right? They have Giddey. They have SGA. Their backcourt's pretty solidified for the rest of the future. They may pick up some wings. They have Dort right now. He may be a trade chip that they may sell. But eventually, they will have to, pay a center. They may have to go for a big man. Sabonis, used to be on the Thunder. They probably know him very well, and he could help out SGA and Giddey, for the short term and the long term. He's still relatively young on a pretty good deal. So really, the Thunder can, it doesn't have to just be Poku. It could really be anyone on their team.
How you say his name?
And then you can just throw that's
sign
his
me the
nickname.
fuck
I don't know
up.
how to say.
Sign me up. I want him on the Pacers now. Give me Poku. Get Bol.
Yep,
oh my god, you could have. What is it? Puka? Was it? Puku. Yeah, Puku, Bol, Goga. I mean, oh god, we need to go all in on these like big guys that are just like awesome names. Anyway.
All right,
but two-syllable, four-letter.
You got me hooked.
Essentially, the Pacers in this trade would be getting picks. So whether it be 2 or 3 picks going forward, the Thunder have some picks to get rid of. He'd go back to the Thunder, maybe turn that around a little bit. And from the Pacers' perspective, they are shedding salary. They're going to get a trade exception for next year, and then they get some picks going forward. So that's kind of the option one for the Pacers. And then, another trade I think could be, pretty beneficial is, the Hornets need a big man. So they could either go for Sabonis or Turner. You can involve Mason Plumlee just for some salary.
I don't think Domantas Sabonis fits anything Charlotte does. And I'm going to, because he can't jump. They want to be fun.
Yeah, he can't really run as well.
Domantas Sabonis, hey, good basketball player. He's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
So if you're the Hornets, Rock City, you can't be boring and bring in this guy who can't take lobs from LaMelo from 3/4 court. Miles Turner, though, I agree with that.
Enough.
Turner is the perfect fit for the Charlotte Hornets.
So would you include in a Turner trade, if you're the Pacers, would you need PJ Washington back and a Bouknight and maybe a pick also?
Are you good enough? Bouknight's a good player.
You don't need a pick.
At least PJ Washington.
I think PJ and Bouknight would be pretty fair. That'd be fair. It's like that's what the Pacers need. So Arca again. You weaseled your way out with Puku. Your weaseled your way out with Puku.
Yeah, no, I had to explain myself.
If his name wasn't Puku, I'd still be on your ass, but his name's Puku. Anyway, all right. Pacers.
All right.
I saw some other
So,
things. I was also intrigued by
yeah.
Sabonis for Adams and Zaire Williams. I like Zaire Williams.
Mhm.
But I'm surprised the fact that I
That's
think
an
John
interesting
Morant
trade.
for Domantas Sabonis would be a little bit better for both the Grizzlies and the
Yeah.
Totally
Pacers.
fair. Totally fair.
Yeah, restart the rebuild
Yeah.
for the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
They don't need
Yeah,
Morant
they don't need him
anymore.
anymore. He definitely would thrive in another environment that's not Memphis.
But if you think about it, right now Memphis is in that point where the Celtics were a few years ago, where they had a million picks, they had a young team, maybe they overachieved a little bit too early. So the question is, do they put all their eggs in one basket and just say, a guy like Sabonis will make us competitive in the playoffs, or do they hold on a little bit? So you could trade Adams for some salary, Zaire Williams, maybe a pick or two as well for Sabonis. But I don't know if you want to mess with the chemistry. What do you guys think for the
Leave it.
Grizzlies?
I mean, they have a winning record without Morant right now,
Yeah.
so
Why
Why
not?
not?
Fuck it. Go all in on Desmond Bain. Desmond Bain. Build around
no,
Desmond.
yeah, Desmond Bain. Yeah, he's got to be most improved player this year.
Maybe BJ.
It's
Or
possible.
no, Miles Bridges.
he's up there.
He's pretty good.
Nah,
Oh,
Maxey.
let's get into Philly. We looked over some of your trades, Arca. I'm very
All right, let's go
curious
into
about
Philly here.
and the things you didn't include in your Philly trade market. Mr. Wizard.
All right,
take it
yeah,
away.
we can. Yeah, so if we're going with Philly, the main buzz, Sacramento did say they're no longer in the sweepstakes for Ben Simmons, but when was the last time anyone could actually reliably, believe anything that Sacramento said? We're hearing
Now, before you
reports that
continue,
Harden,
even though you got to just say what I wanted you to say, why is there not a single
Yeah.
trade here for James Harden?
yeah, no, because it's not going to happen because Kevin Durant,
Really?
and
Mr.
Kyrie
Wizard, what are you
gonna
telling me? What are they
want
telling
to
you
keep
at the
Harden
Sage
on
School?
here. Okay. Do you honestly think Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving respect Ben Simmons? I don't think many NBA
Fuck no.
All-Stars respect him. Harden comes with baggage. He came in overweight this year.
Still is.
He's not getting the foul calls that he got last year with some of the rule changes as well. But at the end of the day, Harden and KD and Kyrie, they respect each other's games, and they barely played together, in the whole time they've been together. So if healthy, if they can all get together, even if they're kind of imploding right now in the regular season, in the playoffs, I think you still can't count them out.
That's true, but I mean, it looks like Harden's going to walk anyway, and that's want to get something now instead of lose him for nothing later on.
Yeah, they could do a sign and trade with him this offseason too. And then,
That's true.
So it probably makes more sense if they are going to go the Simmons route and Harden wants to go to Philly anyway. You may as well just, have him play the season, maybe see if, lightning strikes in a bottle. And then if not, you can do a sign and trade with him in the offseason.
Do you not have
I
a
like
Brooklyn
that.
tab?
I like that.
What
no,
the
I did
fuck?
not get into Brooklyn because I don't think they have any moves to make.
Yeah, trade James Harden's fat ass for somebody.
No, I just saw some
Or,
reports. Steve Nash said that Harden isn't going to get traded. So
And you just said a minute
I'm-
ago, like, don't take their word.
no, he could have a sign and trade this offseason. But for right now, until the trade deadline this week, I don't think the Nets are making any moves. The only thing they could do is maybe get into the buyout market. Robin Lopez is a good name. A lot of teams may want him. Maybe the Bucks could be a good fit for him. The Nets possibly, but they don't really have many things to trade. They could go for Claxton. They could try to trade, Bruce Brown, but they really, don't have any salary to trade unless they, trade one of these big guys.
All right, Mr. Wizard, where are we going next?
All right, so let's
how
go
about
to
this? How about this
the
before we
Pelicans.
move? The Pelicans. Yeah. Who the
All right.
fuck cares
All
about the Pelicans? Zion's not even playing. Who the fuck? Give me Josh Hart, but like other than Josh Hart, like BI's not leaving.
Well, okay. The thing with the Pelicans is
how about this? Their GM's going to get fired. I'm going to give you 15 seconds now, and then we're going to move on from the Pelicans.
Okay. CJ McCollum to the Pelicans because they're desperate. It may not happen, but it would be hilarious if that actually
All right, you
happened.
did it in 7 seconds. so that's fair.
Fair enough.
But at the
Yeah,
same time,
there you
that's
go.
the most coverage Pelicans have gotten all season from anyone involving anything not saying Zion Williamson. So good job to you, Mr. Wizard. Mr. Wizard, what's your favorite trade that you haven't said yet? I want to hear what your favorite trade is.
Okay, let's see. Favorite trade here.
It's like you have like 5 different screens. You're looking back and forth. Look at all my spells.
We can go with some more, low key trades.
Low
Let's talk about the
key?
Mavs.
That's
The
not
Mavs,
fun. Come on. I want a fun trade, Mr. Wizard.
Okay. So Marcus Smart for Jalen Brunson and Dwight Powell. How
I
about
don't
that?
like that at all. I don't think Marcus Smart should ever be traded
No?
from Boston.
Yeah, I mean, he is the heart and soul. They do
How much
need
more
a
of
point
a
guard
how
to
much
kind of,
like Boston would be so they'd be like they're already kind of bitch made. They'd be even more bitch made without Marcus Smart.
Yeah, that's true. They need grit. Ever since Marcus Morris left, they've kind of lost that. But with their offense right now, they need a facilitator. Jalen Brunson, they could resign after the season. They get another big in Dwight Powell, and then the Mavs would get a good defensive guy, guard 1 through 3, next to Luka. So that could kind of be a win-win
What
trade.
if they traded
But
Jalen Brunson and Dwight Powell for John Morant?
Yeah, or straight up Romeo Langford.
Oh,
because Romeo's the GOAT.
if we're trying to get into Romeo Langford trades, I can pull up some Romeo Langford
Romeo
trades.
Langford trades. Because he's box office. I want a box office. I haven't heard Marcus Smart. That was pretty box office.
All right, box office. Let's try this
Which
one.
Which one am I going to get a watch bomb and be like, holy shit, I can't believe that happened?
Well, this one's been reported before, but we could say Westbrook to the Knicks for all their shooters, Kemba, Burks, Fournier. That could shake things up. Westbrook goes to the Garden. He gets them excited for a month. He ends up being terrible, but they can get rid of his salary. He'll be an expiring
the classic
next year.
Westbrook strategy.
Yeah, classic Westbrook strategy. And then the Lakers get smaller contracts that they could potentially trade in the future, and they get some shooters.
See, I've been asking for a blockbuster trade, and it took me about 6 minutes to finally tell me which one you really believe it is. And it's the Knicks one, and it's the Knicks one you probably don't want, Mr. Wizard.
No, as a Knicks fan, I'm more inclined for them to, trade Burks or trade, Kemba, maybe to, the Suns could use Burks, maybe as a backup point guard. Kemba could potentially go to, the Nuggets, the Suns, the Mavs could use him as well. So I would want the Knicks to do a bunch of smaller trades just to kind of, let their, young guys play, maybe get a second round pick from some of these. But yeah, I mean, Westbrook would rejuvenate the Garden.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. I was about to be like, Mr. Wizard, you didn't answer my question about Mr. Russell Westbrook. And you avoided that one for me. I'm looking through more of these trades. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
All right, should we get into let's go back to Memphis for a second.
Memphis,
because we did talk. Yeah,
does this involve John Morant?
With Memphis right now. No.
Oh my goodness.
So we talked about Sabonis. They kind of need a 4, maybe a 5 in that position right there. Sabonis could be a good fit there. What do you guys think about upgrading the 4 position right now? Kyle Anderson is the power forward for them right now. Maybe Anderson, Tyus Jones, a first-round pick for Harrison Barnes.
I like that. I'm a big Harrison Barnes truther, so he could be a dog out there.
Yeah. Why? I'm looking at your Portland trades. I don't see any Damian Lillard trades.
Oh.
Yeah, no. So with Dame, I think, the same thing, more likely that, he'll be traded in the offseason. They did just make that trade, to get rid of Powell, to get rid of Covington. Both of those guys they traded first-round picks for. So, it's not looking great on their end. Maybe the next move would probably be CJ McCollum. It may be a thing where, they may be still involved in the Simmons situation. They're waiting to let that play out. Philly wants Dame for Simmons, maybe Maxey and Thibault, but I don't think that deal gets done.
No, absolutely not Maxey and Thibault.
Definitely not.
Staying.
Yeah, no, from Portland's perspective, they want that, but Philly is, I think, a good situation, Dame to the Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. He's not going to the Knicks.
It would
He's
have
going to go to the Lakers. If he's going to any big market, he's going to the Lakers.
the Lakers. How is Dame
Yeah.
getting
Russell
to the
Westbrook.
Lakers? Westbrook. If Westbrook gets traded, they'll have to attach
Actually,
a
just
first
kidding.
round
No,
pick.
John
to him.
Wall's going to come back and play for the Lakers. Sorry.
Okay.
It's more likely than him going to the Knicks. What the fuck are the... Boy, no one wants Damian Lillard on the Knicks. Not even Damian Lillard wants to be on the Knicks.
I'm pretty sure Dame had the Knicks as one of the teams he would get traded.
So does
to,
everyone else.
They'd have to include
according
RJ
to
Barrett.
any media source that's based out of New York. That's what they all say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to get more buzz in the big markets, but I think it's more likely that Dame actually gets traded in the offseason when teams can free up some more
My
space.
sources in Indianapolis are telling me Damian Lillard has placed the
that makes sense.
Indiana Pacers as one of his preferred destinations. See how easy that is.
That's got to be low.
See
on
how
the
easy
list.
that is. Is just like, I bet like in Boston they're like, oh, Damian Lillard's dying to come to Boston to play for Boston. NBA Central
to
would
be
never
fair,
pick
in
that up though.
Boston-
It doesn't fit their narrative.
Boston says that about every big player.
The Knicks, Lakers.
All right, do you guys see a Simmons for Dame traded in the offseason?
Yes.
If I were the Sixers, I would trade. I know you're not going to like this area. If they should trade, go all in to win a championship this year. They should trade Tybule and Maxey and Simmons all for Dame and just go all in. I don't know what it's. You have Joel Embiid's playing like an MVP. You don't know how healthy he's going to be going forward. I think they should.
I if anything, I'd go Simmons and Thibault without Maxey because you still need that point guard for the future.
Yeah.
And Simmons and Thibault should be enough because that's two all elite defenders right there. One of them can shoot, one of them can't for shit. But the other one, like great inside scorer, just needs a mid range, and Thibault can pick up that mid range for Simmons' lack of it. You don't need to include Maxey in that because Maxey is the reincarnation of Allen Iverson. In my
Oh
opinion.
my God.
So
If you liked what you're hearing from the Trade Wizard and would like to hear more, please go to our website. And I'm just fucking with y'all. We had some technical issues. If you didn't catch on, my video is all fucked up. If you're listening on any audio device, just know my video got weird and for some reason it didn't register in our system. I don't know. It's whatever. Obviously, Arca will always come back. He's always welcome back. But awesome show coming on Friday. Got Michael Chiesa, potentially a pretty big NFL guest. We'll keep you guys updated on that for Super Bowl. We'll have a Super Bowl preview. We'll have UFC 271 preview with Chiesa and then a little bit of our own. And great show coming. Let's have a week, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around with me all the way to the end. I just want to once again thank the sponsor of the show, Living.Fit. If you're looking to better yourself, make sure you go to download the app or visit the website Living.Fit today.